Gonna go!
Coming up, we'll recap the last Padres game, preview today's starting pitching matchup, give you our keys to the game. Plus, we'll hear from manager Craig Stammen. From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
San Diego Padres baseball coming up on 97.3 The Fan and the Padres Radio Network. As today the Padres take on the Los Angeles Dodgers in the second game of a 4-game series. Our starting pitching matchup tonight for the Padres, right-hander Michael King, and for the Dodgers, right-hander Shohei Ohtani. Hi, good everyone. Sam Levitt with you from Dodger Stadium here in L.A. First pitch coming up at 7:10 as the Padres continue this series over the course of July 4th weekend. Coming up in the next 50 minutes, we have a lot to do. We'll hear from Padres manager Craig Stammen. We'll hear from Ty France. We'll hear from Jason Adam, who just went on the IL yesterday. We do have some other injury news to tell you about. We will get to all of it in the next handful of minutes. But first, it's time to set the table, brought to you by Fraser Farms Market. Set your table with the highest quality of natural and organic products from Fraser Farms Market, a San Diego original since 1971 with 3 locations, La Mesa Vista and Oceanside, and at FraserFarmsMarket.com. Padres enter today 43-43. Padres are going through a really tough stretch right now. They've lost 6 in a row for the second time this season. Today they look to avoid dropping 7 straight games for the first time since late in 2021. Padres have allowed 66 runs in this 6-game stretch. Believe it or not, the most runs allowed in a 6-game span in franchise history. Padres are falling in the wild card race because of the way they're playing. They enter today 3 games out of a National League wild card spot. Meanwhile, the Dodgers come in 57-31. LA playing well right now. They've won 8 of their last 10 games. We had the series opener here at Dodger Stadium last night. Let's quickly rewind.
Did you miss what happened in the last Padres game? Let's take a look back with our Padres Rewind on the Padres Radio Network.
Well, the game last night started really well for the Padres, like really well. Top of the first inning, Roki Sasaki on the mound for LA, a runner on base for Manny Machado.
0-1 on Manny. Here's the pitch. Machado swings, sends it in the air, deep to center field. Pages is back, feeling for the wall. He will watch. It's going to go. Manny Machado with number 17. A 2-run homer to straightaway center at Dodger Stadium. And the Padres take a first-inning lead 2-0.
That is indeed how you answer the call.
In the top of the second, Jackson Merrill led off.
1-0, and Merrill swings, sends it in the air to left center field. Hernandez and Pages coming together in the gap, and this one gonna go! Got it over the wall in left center field, and Jackson Merrill, opposite field job to lead off the second. Padres with home run number 2 on the night will take a 3-0 lead.
Padres weren't done in that second inning. Later in the inning, 2 on base for Jake Cronenworth.
Cronenworth swings, sends it in the air to right field. Tucker's going back. He's at the wall looking up. This one gonna go! Jake Cronenworth with the 3rd Padre home run of the night. A 3-run shot in the second inning, and they are all over Sasaki at Dodger Stadium. 6-0 in the second.
So a 6-0 Padre lead, but the bottom of the second was where this game slowly started to turn. Dalton Rushing hit a 2-run home run to make it 6-2. Dodgers got 2 more against Randy Vasquez in the 3rd to make it 6-4. Wandy Peralta began the 4th inning. Padres still up 6-4. 2 on base for Andy Pages.
1-1. Pages hits it hard on the ground, fair up the third baseline. That'll bounce and roll all the way into the corner. Rushing has scored. Edman is at third. He's going to be waived, and this game is now tied. 2-run double Andy Pages. It was 6-0, and now 6-6 in the bottom of the 4th.
Just like that, the Padres' 6-run lead erased. A 6-6 game. Dodgers not done against Peralta. Pages on second base. Mookie Betts at the plate.
2-2, and Betts lines it out to left center field. That's going to find the gap and give the Dodgers the lead. Pages in to score. Mookie will replace him at second base, an RBI double, and for the first time tonight, LA is ahead at 7-6.
Max Muncy hit an RBI single to score bets. It was 8-6. Dodgers scoring 4 runs in the 4th inning against Peralta. From that point on, the Dodgers just tacked on. They'd make it 12-6. Padres got a late run to make it 12-7, but unfortunately not nearly enough. That was the final score last night as the Dodgers won the series opener and the Padres lose a 6th consecutive game. As the Padres look to turn the page here today, first pitch coming up at 7:10. Let's check in with Tony Gwynn Jr.
Let's take a trip up to the Padres broadcast booth for a deep dive on today's matchup with Tony Gwynn Jr. in our Padres game preview on the Padres Radio Network.
Well, Tony, let's start with the big picture right now. It's pretty obvious not going well right now for the Padres, especially from a pitching side of things. They've got 2 very, very tough pitching matchups coming up against them here with Ohtani on the mound tonight, Yamamoto on the mound for LA tomorrow. Tony, you've been in a major league clubhouse. You've been through the ups and downs of a major league season. How do you hope the Padres, at least internally from a mental standpoint, are dealing with what's going on right now?
I hope that they're staying pretty strong at this point. It's one of those things where, a team, especially after the way they lost the previous day, to see them come out in the first 2 innings and really get to it offensively made me feel really good about in terms of their mental. But to see that lead evaporate, you do have to wonder if there is a mental effect on that a third game. And so I just think, for those guys, they have to flush yesterday and just try to prepare for today, because with Ohtani on the mound, you certainly have no room to have anything else you're thinking about other than what he's going to be doing on the mound.
Well, Tony, let's talk about the other side of the pitching matchup today. We know Ohtani is having a great year on the mound, although he's not been quite as good in the last handful of starts. He was so good to begin the year. But Michael King on the mound for the Padres goes without saying. The Padres could use a big start tonight for Michael King for a lot of reasons. They need a win. They need to give this bullpen a little bit of rest. They need starters, obviously, to go deeper into games. It's been up and down for Michael. It was that way in his last start against LA. What do you want to see from Michael King tonight? How does he have a better outing?
As you said, it goes without saying. I think ultimately they got to get a good start. And we keep saying that, and at least the last 4 or 5, it hasn't gone that way, but they definitely need to have one. And this is the guy that I think we expect to be able to go out and do it. And so I think for the Padres, it's less about dealing with, what Michael King's going to be doing today. They got to offensively, you got to be able to keep up. And I think Michael can do a good job in terms of throwing up zeros. We'll see what kind of command he has on that sinker.
Tony, I want to talk about a positive from last night's game, and you and Jesse talked about it at the time, but that was Jackson Merrill, that swing he had to left field. That was, to me, as reminiscent of the classic Jackson Merrill going the other way with power swing that we've seen in a while. What did that say to you last night about what Jackson's doing right now?
I mean, it was obviously a good sign, because we haven't seen him drive a baseball like that really all season long, but that was followed by 2 punch outs where he chased out of the zone, and then he had a kind of a rollover there, 3-1 that in his last at bat. And I think that is a microcosm of what we've seen from Jackson. You see the flashes, you see that he still has it, but he hasn't been able to do it consistently. And although it was a really nice sight to see him drive that ball out, the following 3 at bats didn't really produce the type of evidence you want to see to think that, he's about to get it going here.
Tony, you mentioned the Padres having to keep up offensively in this game. Obviously, it's a great Dodger lineup. Against Shohei Ohtani in that start at Petco Park the last time they faced him, they did put a lot of base traffic on against them, but Ohtani got out of a lot of jams in that game, if you recall that game. I guess tonight, is there a key to the Padres, going from putting guys on base to cashing in on those opportunities against Ohtani?
I think what you want to know about Ohtani as a hitter is I don't know that he's pitching the game plan. I think he wants to bully you. I think he wants to try to embarrass you. And I think you have to keep that in mind in those specific situations. It's not going to be the pitch that necessarily is the weakness. He wants to make you look bad, and that's what makes him as good as he is. And so, I think you gotta have that in the back of your mind when you get into these counts, or you get into a spot you got a runner in scoring position. He's not worried about necessarily throwing the pitch that he thinks can elicit weak contact. He wants to embarrass you, and so I think you got to kind of have that in mind when you're in the box.
All right, Tony, good insight as always. We'll talk to you and Jesse coming up at the very top of the hour. Thanks so much.
No problem, Sam.
All right, that is Tony Gwynn Jr. joining us on our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show here on the Padres Radio Network. First pitch is coming up at 7:10. Yeah, look, it's a tough matchup here tonight. Ohtani on the mound for the Dodgers. Yamamoto on the mound for the Dodgers tomorrow. Padres trying to point this ship back in the right direction. They've lost 6 in a row, and they come into today's game even at 500 at 43-43, desperately trying to avoid dropping under 500 for the first time in a very long while this season. When we come back, we do have updates for you on Freddie Fermin and Randy Vasquez. We'll hear from Craig Stammen. Take a look at the Padres lineup here today as well. First pitch coming up at 7:10 from Dodger Stadium in LA. Our pregame coverage continues after this. Our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside Dodger Stadium here in LA as we get ready for Game 2 of this 4-game series. Padres sending right-hander Michael King to the mound here today. Right-hander Shohei Ohtani on the mound for the Dodgers. He's not only on the mound, of course, but but also leading off in today's game for LA. Padres did make a couple of moves within the last half hour or so. They put Randy Vasquez on the 15-day IL with a right ankle contusion. Remember, Randy got hit by a comebacker during that outing last night. They also put Freddie Fermin on the 10-day IL with a head contusion. So Freddie on the IL after taking another foul ball off his mask last night. Vasquez to the IL. Corresponding moves, Padres recalling right-hander Alec Jacob from AAA El Paso. They also reinstated catcher Luis Campusano from the 10-day IL. So that's the updates for you. Vasquez and Fermin to the IL. Jacob available out of the bullpen today. Luis Campusano is back with the Padres after a long absence dealing with that fractured toe. So those were the moves today. Jason Adam also spoke about his shoulder injury. He went on the IL yesterday. We'll hear from Jason a little bit later. I'll tell you, it's not great news. Jason's going to miss significant time over the course of probably at least the next month and a half or so. So we'll hear from Jason Adam coming up a little bit later as we get ready for tonight's game here in LA. Let's hear from Craig Stammen.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres skipper Craig Stammen. Served up by Sinley Food. If you've had better chicken, you must be a rooster.
Yeah, Randy's doing much better today. We're going to put him on the IL with a right ankle contusion. Just be very cautious with him, what he went through yesterday out on the field and then off the field also. Give him a little bit of breather. We got Alec Jacob here today. So all things pointing positive for Randy today, but just got to be careful.
Yeah, there were multiple things going on yesterday, obviously. Any information on the fainting spell that he suffered?
Yeah, nothing more than kind of what I said last night. He was going to get an x-ray and, got a little woozy and fainted and took him to the hospital. They were there till 3 a.m., so he didn't get a ton of sleep last night. And he's just, definitely feeling the effects of everything that went on yesterday.
As far as the contusion, did it surprise you at all that he was able to continue to pitch? And is it one of those things where you get through it and then afterwards the swelling kicks in?
Yeah, I think it was one of those things where you got the adrenaline kicking on the mound and, you're in Dodger Stadium, you're playing in a big game. Nothing was broke, which is good. So he could, fight through it, but a lot of pain and obviously a lot of pain that led to, other consequences.
Yeah. How about Freddie? What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, Freddie, he's got a head contusion. He's also going to be placed on the IL. Not the concussion IL, but the regular IL with the head contusion. We can't be here today. We've known the hits that Freddie has taken to the head, throughout the course of the season. And while he did not get diagnosed with a concussion, we felt it was smart to take care of him and just give him a little bit more time to heal up from that previous concussion without getting another head blow.
Yeah, I mean, it gets kind of scary at some point, doesn't it, as much as he's been beat up back there?
Yeah, exactly. And, that's the risk. After one concussion, the potential of other hits to the head could lead to another concussion or a more serious concussion. So just trying to keep his best interest in mind and take care of him as best we can.
With Campy being here, was it about time for him to join the team anyway, or did anything get rushed a little bit because of the circumstances here?
Yeah, maybe a little early. I think we would have let him play a few more games, play more than just one full game. But, circumstances changed that. He's healthy. He's been catching a lot and, swinging here the last few games. So excited to have him back.
Craig, these are a lot of hits you guys are taking. And I know that, that's part of the season and all, but what is the effect of this?
Yeah, it's tough on everybody. It's tough on the team. It's tough on the individuals that it happens to. But also we know that we've got a collective unit that can band together. We're making that foxhole tight and, using it as a viewpoint of this is testing us, and what comes from testing. Well, we think perseverance, determination, and resilience. And those are good qualities. And so if we use this to our advantage and those qualities come out from it, we'll be in good shape going forward.
Did you get clarity on Jason Adam? We spoke to him a little bit. He said it's pretty positive, generally speaking. What's your understanding of that?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's, one of those things that anytime a shoulder or a pitcher goes down with a shoulder or elbow injury, you're hoping it's not season ending. And for that, we got good news that it wasn't season ending, that he'll just need some time off and rest and then hopefully be back at some point, later in the season.
You share his optimism getting back in August?
Is that what he said, August? Yeah. I do. I share that same optimism. Jason said he was going to be back at opening day after his knee injury, and he probably was close to being ready. And, was ready in mid-April. So he's a strong man with strong faith, and I believe that, he'll be back, in no time.
Would it be different because it is the end of the season and he's important? I mean, you guys really took your time with him to start.
Yeah, and we'll take our time with him this time too. You can't rush, those types of injuries with the pitcher, and he's got a career that he wants to have, and it's not always about just this season. And we want to take care of him the best that we can. If it was my own son doing that too, I wouldn't want to rush him back just to finish the season. He's got a long career ahead of him.
What's the understanding with Randy? Is it like just kind of hopeful once the 10 days or 15 days are up at the end?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's not broke. So that's, the very positive news about it, but it's definitely really sore. He's limping around a little bit with it. It shouldn't be an extended IL stint, but you also never know and can't predict that kind of thing.
That was Padres manager Craig Stammen earlier today inside the Padres dugout. A lot of updates there on Freddie Fermin and Randy Vasquez, again, both of whom are going to the IL. And again, we'll hear from Jason Adam a little bit later, hear what he had to say about this shoulder strain. You heard Craig talk about it there a little bit, but we'll hear from Jason himself coming up a little bit later as well. First pitch coming up at 7:10 here at Dodger Stadium. Let's take a look at the Padres lineup here today. Looks like this: Fernando Tatis Jr. in right field leading off, Jake Cronenworth at second base batting second, Manny Machado, the DH, batting third, Gavin Sheets in left field batting cleanup, Ty France at first base batting fifth, Jackson Merrill in center field batting sixth, Xander Bogaerts at shortstop batting seventh, Sung Moon Song, third baseman tonight, batting eighth, and Rodolfo Duran doing the catching and batting ninth. Michael King on the mound for the Padres, Shohei Ohtani on the mound for LA. Let's take a look at who's hot, who's not.
Which player is locked in at the dish? Who needs to step up their game? This is Who's Hot, Who's Not. Presented by ASAP Drain Guys and Plumbing, a division of Anderson Commercial, your full-service plumber serving San Diego County.
A couple of guys we'll put in the hot category today. How about Jake Cronenworth? He has 4 hits in his last 2 games, including a home run and 3 RBI. So Jake coming off the IL, he's swinging the bat well. Ty France is 7 for 16 in his last 4 games. He's got a double in that span. He's doing a nice job, Ty France, back in the lineup today playing first base. In the not category, Rodolfo Duran, just 3 for his last 36. Duran starting at catcher here tonight. And that's a quick look at who's hot, who's not, as we get ready for game 2 of this 4-game set. Let's give you some Major League headlines as we go around the horn.
Let's examine the most important news and the latest information you need to know in the world of Major League Baseball. Sam Levitt takes you around the horn. Presented by Valley View Casino and Hotel. Get ready for Major League winning when you join Valley View Casino and Hotel's Players Club and receive over $200 in free instant offers. Visit valleyviewcasino.com to learn more today.
Mariner center fielder Julio Rodriguez, he was removed from the game last night against the Angels after being struck by a ball in the back of the head. He was placed on the 7-day concussion IL today with a concussion, obviously. So he's on the 7-day IL. The talented center fielder Julio Rodriguez. The Yankees putting left-hander Carlos Rodon on the IL earlier today because of elbow inflammation. Another blow for the Yankees. They're in the midst of a 7-game losing streak. Rodon going for an MRI after feeling pain while playing catch Wednesday, and he was put on the IL with elbow inflammation. The Reds' young right-hander Hunter Green is about to return from the 60-day IL to make his season debut tomorrow night against the Baltimore Orioles. Green has been on the IL since March after undergoing surgery to remove bone chips from his right elbow. Orioles putting their talented closer Ryan Helsley on the 15-day IL earlier today with right elbow discomfort. And finally, the Braves signing former National League MVP outfielder Andrew McCutchen to a minor league contract earlier today. The 39-year-old McCutchen was released by the Rangers in late May after he hit 192 in 37 games with Texas. And that's a look at some of the headlines from around the major leagues. We'll have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard coming up in just a little bit. When we come back, we'll hear from Jason Adam, who was put on the IL yesterday, get more insight on his injury and potential timeline of returning. Plus, I go one-on-one with tonight's first baseman, Ty France. First pitch coming up at 7:10 here in L.A., Padres and the Dodgers in Game 2 of this 4-game series on the Padres Radio Network. EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside Dodger Stadium here in L.A. The grounds crew watering the infield. We've got Shohei Ohtani in left field right now, starting to warm up. And in just a moment, Michael King will start doing the same for the Padres. Crowd filing in on this Friday evening here in Los Angeles. July 4th weekend should be a nice night for baseball. Jesse and Tony coming your way at the very top of the hour. Let's give you the latest on Jason Adam, who was put on the IL yesterday.
Who's in? Who's out? This is the Bada Fulkerson Injury Report, presented by San Diego's Bulldog Injury Attorneys, who hope you're never in an accident. But if you are, make Bada Fulkerson the first call you make. Hit them up 24/7 at badafulkerson.com.
Well, before we hear from Jason Adam, again, just to recap the moves from earlier today, Randy Vasquez going to the 15-day IL with a right ankle contusion. Freddie Fermin going to the 10-day IL with a head contusion. Padres earlier recalling right-hander Alec Jacob from AAA El Paso. He would presumably be available out of the bullpen here tonight. Luis Campusano also reinstated from the 10-day IL, but Rodolfo Duran will get the start here tonight. We'll see if we see Campusano at some point in this game. Yesterday, Jason Adam put on the IL with a shoulder strain. Jason spoke inside the Padres clubhouse earlier. A little bit more info about the injury.
As far as shoulder injuries go, or shoulder-related injuries go, this is as good as I could ask for. It's the capsule's all strong, the labrum's all strong. It's just that subscap. So recovery should be. It's wait and see how long, but I mean I should definitely be pitching down the stretch this year.
Okay. They feel like you shut it down.
Yeah. Thankfully, we shut it down quick. Otherwise, if I make it worse, then obviously we're looking at a longer time. So,
But not anything you felt in those 3 and 4.
No, I felt the whole outing was actually, I felt really good. I mean, I didn't get the job done, but as far as like stuff wise, it was coming out fine and no pain, and for both ups. So just, I was kind of surprised the next day, but that's why I didn't think much of it.
That was the first time you had felt it?
Yeah.
Was that next day?
Yeah. The next day was the first I felt anything. And then same thing. Like I just said, I didn't think much of it because it was a reasonable time to be sore. I thought more of it when I woke up the next day. I was like, God, this doesn't feel quite right. But I tried to do some med balls, do some bands, do anything to get it going. It seems like the more I did, the worse it got. So that's when I thought, I was like, I better say something.
Is there a timeline for how long you needed to sort of rest, or is it as you feel? Or?
It's muscular, so it's like not a strict timeline. I think my target is I'd love to be back in games early to mid-August. That's probably an aggressive goal, but that's my goal, so we'll see. But that does also buy us some room to be, if it's a week longer than that, I still get to help the team down the stretch and into the playoffs.
You had an MRI yesterday that confirmed it's muscular?
Yeah, it's muscular in the subscap, I believe. So, yeah. So not as as far as shoulder injuries go, it's as good as I could possibly ask for.
That was Padres reliever Jason Adam inside the clubhouse earlier today. Adam to the IL yesterday with a shoulder strain. You heard some of the info there, the specifics about the injury, but sounds like Adam will miss significant time. I mean, you're talking, from his perspective, early mid-August, and we'll see if that ends up being a realistic timeline, but he's going to miss, at least, what would you say now, 5-6 weeks. So Padres, unfortunately, will be without Jason Adam for quite some time. First pitch coming up here at 7:10 in LA. Let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
We have one final already today. Cardinals beating up on the Cubs 17-1 in Chicago. Everything else is coming up a little bit later, we have a handful of games going on right now. We've got a few games coming up a little bit later. Nationals lead the Pirates 9-5 in Washington, D.C. in the 9th inning. The Yankees lead the Twins 3-2 in the 6th inning in New York. The White Sox leading the Guardians in Cleveland 5-1 in the 5th inning. They have a rain delay there, though. Braves leading the Mets 5-2 in Atlanta in the 8th inning. The Rockies lead the Giants 7-2 in Colorado in the 5th. The Rays lead the Astros 1-0 in Houston in the 6th inning. Red Sox and the Angels in Anaheim in the 1st inning, scoreless there. Marlins and the A's also just underway in Sacramento. They are scoreless there. Brewers and the Diamondbacks coming up later at 6:45. Blue Jays and the Mariners coming up at 7:10. The only two games yet to begin, aside from this one here at Dodger Stadium in LA. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Well, we told you a little bit earlier, Ty France swinging a good bat right now. He's done a really nice job going back the last couple of weeks. Some big home runs for the Padres in that span. I talked with Ty inside the Padres clubhouse a little bit earlier about what's going on with the Padres right now and his recent success at the plate.
Ty, obviously, it's been a little bit of a tough stretch for the ball club. You've been around this game a long time. You've been on a number of different teams. To you, what have you learned about the ebbs and flows of a season and what it takes to get out of a rough stretch as a group?
Kind of like you touched on, it's one of those stretches where it hasn't been our best baseball. And, I think just sticking together as a group, as cliche as that sounds, there's everyone in here believes in one another, and that's what it takes. It takes every single guy knowing their role and their job and wanting to be excellent at that. So, there's a lot of baseball left to play. We're still in a good spot, even though, this last week hasn't gone our way, but we're still in the hunt for a playoff spot. And, there's no better time than now to turn it on.
From a mental standpoint, how do you balance the idea of it being such a long season and so much baseball left to play, I suppose, with, the sense of urgency in this lead up to the All-Star break with some of the teams you're facing?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're going up against teams, like the Dodgers, the Braves, the best teams in baseball right now, you want to play your best baseball. And, we did that at home with the Braves, but, this road trip has been a little tough. And, it's one of those things where, there's really not much you can do about it once it's over. You just got to move on and fight for the next day. And I think everybody in here understands that. And, we're not, intentionally going out there trying to suck, So, like you said, it's a long season. This is a very veteran group. So a lot of guys have been through these kind of things and understand what it takes to get out. And, we're doing everything we can to.
Ty, you're swinging the bat really well right now. How do you feel at the plate? What's going right?
Yeah, I feel really good. Swinging at the right pitches. Everything's kind of synced up. It's been a long process, and trying to trust that this process is going to work. And there was a good couple weeks during the month of June where I was kind of lost for a little bit. So just getting back to feeling like myself. Like I said, getting the right pitches, swinging at the right pitches, and feeling synced up mechanically.
After a game, you joked with me, or maybe it wasn't a joke, after a game where you hit a home run that you took like 1,000 swings earlier in the day. Are you somebody that has to work a lot, has to kind of swing themselves out of slumps?
Yeah, I think so. I'm a big feel guy, so I need to feel things in the cage and during my work. And, I can watch a video all I want and say, yeah, that's what I want to look like. But if I can't, replicate that in the cage or in the game, I need to feel things. So I wasn't joking when I took 1,000 swings that day. I took a ton of swings trying to feel things. And, by the end of that day before the game, something clicked and I felt what I needed to feel, and kind of been running with it since.
Ty, appreciate the time. Good luck tonight. Thanks so much.
Yeah, you got it.
That was tonight's first baseman, Ty France, batting fifth for the Padres in Game 2 of this 4-game series. Sam Levitt back with you inside Dodger Stadium in L.A. as we get ready for first pitch coming up at 7:10. We send things out to Jesse and Tony at the very top of the hour. As always, our pregame coverage brought to you by EcoWater SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. Visit EcoWaterSoCal.com or call 760-350-3338. Let's give you our keys to tonight's game.
How will the Padres unlock a win today? These are the keys to the game. Presented by Rock and Block Turf and Hardscapes. Beautiful artificial turf that stays green all year long. Trust and experience. The job isn't done until it's done right. See them at rockandblocklandscape.com.
Key number 1, don't let rushing continue to rake. The Dodgers' young catcher, Dalton Rushing, back in their lineup today, batting 8th. He had 4 hits, 4 RBIs, and a home run yesterday. Got to limit him towards the bottom of the Dodger lineup, because after that, you got the number 9 spot, and then it flips over to Ohtani and Pages and Freeman and Betts. So can you control Dalton Rushing towards the bottom of the LA lineup? Key number 2, not just facing Ohtani, the pitcher, but the hitter, Shohei Ohtani, on the mound for the Dodgers here tonight. We'll talk about the pitcher Ohtani a little bit more in a moment. But offensively, he has had a lot of success against Michael King in his career. 9 for 21 with 3 home runs in his career against Michael King. So can King and the Padres bullpen limit Ohtani at the plate here tonight? And key number 3, hey, Padres offense, just keep doing what you're doing. Look, it's got overlooked because of what's going on with the pitching right now, but the Padres offense has been much more productive the last 2-3 weeks. Despite this current skid as a team, the Padres have recorded 10 or more hits in 4 consecutive games for the second time this season. How about this? Of the Padres' 7 hits last night, or I should say 10 went for extra bases. Sorry, what I'm reading here doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Anyway, put it this way. Padres have been hitting the baseball well. They scored 7 runs last night. Hey, offense, keep it up. Keep doing what you're doing. I apologize. I was reading something and some of the numbers didn't quite make sense. So I'll just cut it off there and say, hey, Padres offense, keep the bats going. That's a look at our keys to today's game. When we return, we'll tell you more about today's pitching matchup between Shohei Ohtani and Michael King. We send things up to Jesse and Tony in just about 10 minutes as we get ready for Game 2 of this 4-game set in LA on the Padres Radio Network.
On your mark, ready, set, let's go.
Friday night, July 4th weekend, and we are live from Dodger Stadium here in LA. Padres and Dodgers coming your way, game 2 of this 4-game series. Padres trying to get things going in the right direction. They've lost 6 in a row coming in. Shohei Ohtani on the mound for the Dodgers. Michael King on the mound for the Padres. We'll talk plenty more about tonight's pitching matchup in just a moment. First pitch coming up at 7:10. We send things to Jesse and Tony in under 9 minutes. Padres getting warmed up down the right field line. Dodgers getting warmed up down the left field line. Crowd filing in here at Chavez Ravine at Dodger Stadium. Let's tell you what to watch for in game 2 of this 4-game series.
What's the one thing Sam Levitt will be keeping his eye on in today's game? This is What to Watch For. Presented by Genesis Home Improvements, San Diego's trusted painting, roofing, and window company. Save 15% today on a new beginning for your home. Visit GenesisHomeImprovements.com.
Well, we talked before the break about the Padres offense being really productive yesterday, despite the loss, all the home runs, the extra base hits that the Padres had yesterday. One thing the Padres didn't do yesterday was steal a base, and the Padres have been very good in that department this season. Padres right now are one of 4 teams in the majors with 85 stolen bases or more, and they've done a really good job at being successful in those attempts. They are 8th in the majors with nearly 80% stolen base percentage. So can the Padres put pressure on Shohei Ohtani tonight, on this Dodgers pitching staff, on the Dodgers defense? When they get on first base, will the Padres try to run a little bit here tonight? That's what to watch for in today's game. Let's dive into today's pitching matchup between King and Ohtani.
Let's break down how today's starters are shaping up with our starting pitching preview. Brought to you by Harrah's Resort Southern California and the First Down Sports Bar in Funner, California. Don't just watch the match, experience the glory. Head to Funner for every World Cup match to enjoy stadium-level energy and amazing specials at the best sports bar in SoCal.
31-year-old right-hander Shohei Ohtani on the mound and leading off for the Dodgers here tonight. 13 starts this season, a 1.58 ERA, 79 and 2/3 innings, 86 strikeouts, 48 hits given up. His last start in Minnesota, 6 innings, 2 earned runs allowed on 5 hits. His last 3 starts, he has a 4.34 ERA. Compare that to his first 10 starts of the season, a 0.74 ERA. In those first 10 starts. So he was really, really excellent to begin the year. Last 3 starts, not quite as good for Ohtani. He faced the Padres back on May 20th in San Diego, went 5 scoreless innings and allowed 3 hits in that game. On the mound for the Padres today, Michael King, 31 years old. He's 5-7 with a 3.55 ERA, 17 starts on the season, 96 innings and a third, 83 strikeouts and 39 walks. He lost to the Dodgers on Saturday in San Diego, gave up 4 runs in 4 innings and a third. The walks have been a problem for Michael at times this season. He walked 4 in that game on Saturday. Last 7 starts for Michael King, it's been up and down, a 5.45 ERA. Compare that to a 2.31 ERA in his first 10 starts of the season. That 10-start stretch ended with 7 scoreless, brilliant innings against LA on May 18th. So Michael King will make his 3rd start of the season here tonight against the Dodgers. 1 was excellent, 7 brilliant innings back in May. The one last week in June, not a great one. 4 innings and a third. He walked 4 and gave up 4 runs. So what's a version of Michael King do we get here tonight? That will play a big factor in tonight's game from a Padres standpoint. And that's a look at our pitching matchup between Michael King and Shohei Ohtani. Well, we'll see if the Padres can get things pointed in the right direction here tonight. Padres come in 43-43. Dodgers are 57-31. LA has won 8 out of their last 10 games. Padres have lost 6 in a row for the 2nd time this season. And today the Padres look to avoid dropping 7 consecutive games for the first time since late in 2021. I'm going to spare you some of the historic elements of what I'm about to say, but the Padres have given up 66 runs in this 6-game losing streak. So can Michael King provide a good, effective, lengthy start here tonight? We're going to find out. When we come back, we send things out to Jesse and Tony. They're just above me upstairs here at Dodger Stadium, and they'll have full starting lineups, first pitch, and all the play-by-play. I'll talk to you on our post-game coverage. You're listening to your home for Padres baseball, 97.3 The Fan, and the Padres Radio Network. Enjoy the game, everybody.